The Disney Brothers cartoon studio starts small and stays small for a while. Walt and Roy produced the Alice comedies through the mid-1920s, and they're moderately successful. Enough to keep the lights on, enough to hire a few animators, enough to move out of the real estate office and into a proper studio on Hyperion Avenue in the Silver Lake neighborhood of Los Angeles. The Hyperion Studio will be the company's home for the next 14 years, and it's where almost everything that matters in early Disney history happens. In 1925, two things happen that anchor the brothers' personal lives. Roy marries Edna Francis, a woman he'd met back in Kansas City, where she worked at the Kansas City Times alongside a friend. It's a quiet, stable marriage that will last until Roy's death in 1971. And Walt marries Lillian Bounds, a young woman from Idaho who works as an ink and paint artist at the studio. Lillian is practical, direct, and not particularly impressed by the animation business, qualities that will make her an invaluable counterweight to Walt's boundless enthusiasm for the next 4 decades. By 1927, the Alice comedies have run their course, the concept is getting stale, and the market for the series is declining. Walt needs a new character. He creates Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, a cheerful, floppy-eared cartoon rabbit with a mischievous personality. Oswald is distributed through Charles Mintz, who has a deal with Universal Pictures. The series is a hit, theaters love it, audiences love it. Oswald is Walt's first real success as a character creator, the first time he's built something with genuine commercial legs. And then, in February 1928, Walt boards a train to New York to renegotiate his contract with Mintz. He's expecting a raise. The Oswald series is doing well. Walt figures the numbers speak for themselves. The meeting is a disaster, the worst meeting of Walt Disney's life. Mintz doesn't offer a raise. He offers a cut, a 20% reduction in what he's paying per cartoon. And then he drops the real bomb. Universal, not Disney, owns the copyright to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. The character belongs to the distributor, not the creator. And Mintz has already been in contact with most of Walt's animators. He's offered them jobs directly, cutting Disney out entirely. If Walt doesn't accept the lower rate, Mintz will simply take the character and the animators and continue the series without him. Walt is stunned. He's been ambushed. The character he created, the animators he trained, the success he built, none of it belongs to him. The copyright clause in the original contract gave universal ownership of Oswald, and Walt either didn't read it carefully enough or didn't understand its implications. Either way, the lesson is searing. If you don't own your intellectual property, you don't own anything. There are different versions of what Walt says in that room, but the most commonly cited account has him telling Mintz, "You can have Oswald and you can have my men. I'll get new ones." Walt boards the train back to Los Angeles. The journey is 3 days, and somewhere on that train, the exact moment varies depending on who's telling the story, and Walt told it differently at different times throughout his life. He starts sketching a new character, a mouse, a cartoon mouse with round ears, red shorts, and a personality that's equal parts mischievous and optimistic. He initially calls him Mortimer. Lillian, when she sees the sketches, tells him Mortimer sounds too pompous. She suggests Mickey Mouse. Now, there's a question about who actually drew Mickey, and it's a question that matters. Walt created the character concept and personality, but the actual drawings, the design, the proportions, the way Mickey moves, that's Iwerks. Animates the first Mickey Mouse cartoon, Plain Crazy, essentially single-handed, working at that legendary pace of his, producing the entire film's animation in a matter of weeks. It establishes a pattern that will define the early Disney studio. Walt provides the vision, provides the execution. Plain Crazy is completed but doesn't find a distributor. Neither does the second Mickey short, The Gallopin' Gaucho. Walt is sitting on 2 completed cartoons with no way to get them into theaters. And then he has the idea that changes everything. Sound. In October 1927, Warner Brothers had released The Jazz Singer, the first feature film with synchronized dialogue. The technology is revolutionary and the film industry knows it. Sound is the future. Most studios are scrambling to add sound to their existing productions, but nobody in the animation world has figured out how to synchronize a cartoon with a fully integrated soundtrack. Not just dialogue, but music, sound effects, everything timed perfectly to the on-screen action. Walt decides that the third Mickey cartoon will be a sound film. He calls it Steamboat Willie, and he doesn't just add a soundtrack, he makes the sound integral to the animation. The gags are built around sound. Mickey plays a goat's teeth like a xylophone. A cat gets swung by the tail in rhythm with Turkey in the Straw. The animation and the music are one thing, inseparable. Recording the soundtrack is a nightmare. Walt travels to New York, again, and hires a small orchestra and a conductor. The first recording session is a disaster because the conductor can't keep time with the animation. Walt fires him and hires a new one. The second session works. The total cost of the soundtrack recording is about $4,500, a huge sum for the Disney Brothers studio at this point, representing a significant portion of their capital. Steamboat Willie premieres at the Colony Theater in New York City on November 18th, 1928. The audience goes crazy. They've never seen anything like it. A cartoon where the sound and the animation are perfectly married, where the character seems to exist in a world that you can hear as well as see.
In 1928, sound came to the motion pictures. To the movie industry, that is animated cartoon and regular motion pictures alike, a new chapter was opened. Our first sound cartoon at the Disney studio was Steamboat Willie.
The reviews are ecstatic. The film trade's press calls it a revolution. Mickey Mouse becomes a sensation almost overnight. The character's appeal is immediate and universal. Children love him, adults love him, theaters can't get enough of the Mickey shorts. Within a year, Mickey Mouse is one of the most recognizable characters in the United States, and Walt, learning from the Oswald disaster, makes sure of one thing from the very beginning: he owns Mickey Mouse. The copyright is his, the character is his. No distributor, no studio, no partner can take Mickey away from him the way Mintz took Oswald. From this point forward, Disney's obsessive protection of its intellectual property, the legal ferocity with which it guards its characters, its stories, its trademarks, traces directly back to that meeting in Mintz's office in February 1928. Walt Disney learned what it feels like to create something and have it stolen, and he vowed it would never happen again. It never did. The merchandising begins almost immediately. In 1929, a businessman approaches Walt about licensing Mickey's image for a line of pencil tablets. The deal is worth $300, a trivial amount even by 1929 standards. But it's the first merchandise license in Disney history, and it establishes a principle that will eventually generate tens of billions of dollars. The characters have value beyond the screen. Mickey isn't just a cartoon, he's a brand. He can sell things, and the revenue from selling things, from toys, from clothing, from lunchboxes, from pencil tablets, can fund the creation of more cartoons, which create more characters, which sell more things. It's a flywheel. It starts with $300 for pencil tablets. As of 2025, Disney's consumer products and licensing revenue is measured in billions per year. Head to corrp.com/Disney for the full financial data. We're tracking everything from this point forward. By 1930, the Disney Brothers studio is a real business. Mickey Mouse is a star. The Silly Symphonies series, a collection of musical animated shorts that serves as Walt's experimental laboratory, is winning Academy Awards. The studio has over 100 employees. Roy is managing the finances, negotiating distribution deals, keeping the books balanced, while Walt burns through money on increasingly ambitious projects. But 1930 is also the year Walt loses his best friend, UB Iwerks, the man who drew Mickey Mouse, the most gifted hand in the studio, the man who'd been at Walt's side since that Kansas City art studio in 1919. UB leaves. The reasons are complicated. Ub is frustrated. He feels under-recognized. Walt gets the credit, the fame, the public adulation. Ub does the work. The imbalance is real, and it wears on him. And then Pat Powers, a film distributor who has a complicated history with Disney, offers Ub financial backing to start his own animation studio. It's the chance for independence, for creative control, for recognition in his own right, UB accepts. He doesn't tell Walt directly. Instead, he waits until January 21st, 1930, after Walt has left for New York to deal with a separate financial dispute with Powers, and tenders his resignation to Roy. The timing feels deliberate. The departure feels like a betrayal. Ub starts his own studio. He creates his own characters. Flip the Frog, Willie Whopper. They're well animated, but they don't connect with audiences the way Mickey did. The studio struggles. It never achieves the success Ub hoped for. By 1936, he closes it down. In 1940, Ub returns to Disney. But the relationship is different. Walt hires him back, and Ub does brilliant work. He develops camera technology, optical printing processes, and special effects techniques that advance Disney's capabilities enormously. He becomes one of the most important technical innovators in the company's history, but the friendship is gone. Walt works with Ub on a professional level, but won't rekindle the personal bond. Publicly, they're cordial. Privately, there's a chill that never thaws. The man who helped create Mickey Mouse spends the last 25 years of his Disney career as a respected colleague and a former friend. In what comes next, Walt bets the entire company on a film that everyone in Hollywood thinks is insane. His wife tries to talk him out of it. His brother tries to talk him out of it. They call it Disney's folly. He makes it anyway. And then in the aftermath of his greatest triumph, he buys his parents a house. And that house kills his mother.